We're saying bye to the bye week and hello to Alabama. Welcome to Gameday U, Oklahoma's only weekly football pregame show live on TV. I'm your host, Kaylee Jo Hommel, and beside me are Emily Lebeth, Aiden Tyler, and Britton Ross. And before we can roll on over to the Tide, let's throw it back to Missouri. And now that Truman the Tiger has your attention, we really only need to look at the fourth quarter here. It's 10-9 Missouri, and OU has only scored by field goals when the Tigers get their second touchdown. It's now 16-9 Mizzou when Taylor Tatum finds Jackson Arnold. Yes, the quarterback catches this 18-yard pass to tie the game and keep the Sooners in it. And a true instance of Sooner magic right here. Billy Bowman scoops the fumble and takes it all the way to the house for the lead, 23-16 OU. But the Tigers say two can play at that game, and they tied the score with a little over a minute left. And it was a Jackson Arnold fumble right here that sealed the deal. Zion Young, he's going to return it to the end zone. Final score 30-23 Missouri. That Billy Bowman scoop and score was a display of Sooner magic, but everything afterward was Sooner tragic. That was Mizzou's only turnover when Oklahoma had 4.
Yeah, Kaylee Jo, that was a great play by Bowen, and OU's defense fell apart at the end, but they played well enough to get a win. Danny Stutzman had a career-high 19 tackles, and the defensive line contained the run. The longest rush for Mizzou was only 10 yards, but it seems like that has been the story all season, right, Aiden?
Yeah, and this loss might be the most heartbreaking loss the Sooners have had under Brent Venables. It felt like they couldn't lose that one, and they found a way to lose. The Sooners folded in the final minutes of the game and blew their best shot at making a bowl game.
And the OU run game has been awful all season long. Outside of Jackson Arnold, the Sooners only ran for 77 yards against Mizzou. They're down at 86 in the country in rushing yards, but they make up for it by being even worse in the passing game, down at 115th.
Now on to OU's next opponent, number 7 Alabama, who jumped 3 spots in the college football playoff poll this week. Bama has won its last 3 games by a combined score of 128-20 since losing to Tennessee. And head coach Brent Venables recognizes the talent on this team.
Incredibly explosive, and they have great playmakers everywhere. Certainly everything goes through the quarterback, but they have it at offensive line play. They're really good up front. You know, they know what they're doing. They're making everything work, and then the running backs are fantastic.
Playing a team of this caliber means OU has to bring their A-game on all fronts, and they need to utilize Xavier Robinson, who had a breakout fourth quarter against Mizzou in a crucial scoring drive for OU. Robinson understands his larger role in these next 2 games, choosing to forgo his red shirt.
I respect BV coming up to me asking, and DeMarco, asked me about this decision. But I made the decision, to keep playing. It took me a little couple days to think about it. Help this team out. I love this team a lot, and make sure the seniors, leave on at least six games, get another game going.
Senior night is often emotional, but it might be extra emotional tonight with the Sooners losing seniors that quickly became fan favorites. OU sophomore quarterback Jackson Arnold says that winning the last game the seniors will ever play on Owen Field is crucial.
Obviously, Danny and Billy aren't going to be here next year. A bunch of seniors that aren't going to be here next year, and so for them, I think we've lost a handful of games this year in the Palace, and that's honestly not acceptable for this program and this standard. So, sending them off of the one last one would be very special.
The OU defense allows 210 passing yards every game. That's good enough for 55th in the country, but Alabama passes for 245 yards every game. Defensive back Woody Washington knows that the Sooners are going to have their hands full tonight.
I think they're really good. Obviously, their guys, Ryan Williams, number 2, he's the main target, but they got some pretty good receivers all around. Different guys that do different stuff, gadget guy or a guy that runs routes, but they have a pretty good receiving corps. I think this is one of the closest teams that I've been a part of, despite our record. The guys come in each and every day and just put in work, and we lean on each other.
Campus Corner is known for good times, delicious food, and my favorite, shopping. And with more people in Norman with OU in the SEC, Abby, what does this mean?
Oh, Kaylee Jo, I think we both know what this means. More money. When we come back, find out what makes the SEC so expensive and why fans are okay spending a little more when it comes to game day.
Emma, did you hear? Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
When we have the food we need, we are at our best. We push further. We rise higher. We unlock our full potential. When we have the food we need, we make our communities stronger. Together, we can help everyone get the food they need to thrive. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
The SEC's slogan is, "It just means more for a reason." It just means more in every aspect, even shopping. Our Abby Williams is live with how the conference change has impacted Campus Corner. Abby?
That's right, Kaylee Joe. SEC fans are known for traveling to away games and looking pretty snappy while doing it. I talked to one boutique owner here on Campus Corner and found out why they love the SEC. OU's Campus Corner is synonymous with game days in Norman, and the shops within are no exception. Retail prices for many stores there look to be higher than they have in the past. But what is it about OU's move to the SEC that makes things in Norman more expensive?
Something I don't think people realize is if you have SEC on an item, that is trademarked and they have to pay a percentage. The wholesaler has to pay a percentage to the SEC too. So they have to pay the SEC and they also have to pay OU for their licensing. So it's kind of a double whammy. So things that have OU and SEC on them cost us more. So therefore we have to make the retail more.
That logo itself is expensive, but fans coming to town still shop at Campus Corner's finest.
Their teams travel more. It was insane how many Tennessee fans came. They showed up. I mean, there were so many of them. They all came into the store and they were so friendly. So that was really fun. I will say we've just noticed more of their fans traveling and coming and seeing Norman than people did in the Big 12.
And with the Tide in town, these shops get new opportunities to sell their products.
We've been putting out just crimson and like red colored items, not necessarily OU, because I mean, we have the same colors as them. So if their fans come in and they see a cool red or crimson sweater, I think that they'll be more apt to buy it too.
So with one last home game in Norman for the season, Campus Corner businesses want to go out with a bang before football season is over.
We have a little bit of a lull, you know, during summer, and then it's right back to football season again, and that's when it's really fun around here.
If you don't have your game day fit figured out for OU's final home game of the season tonight, well, don't worry. You still have time to hit up Campus Corner before that 6:30 kickoff tonight. Reporting live from the historic Campus Corner in Norman, Abby Williams, Game Day U.
Thanks, Abby. We heard from Jackson Arnold earlier in the show. Tonight is a special night for a few Sooners playing in their last home game. Game Day U reporter Darby McCormick is live with how the seniors feel about taking Owen Field one last time.
Yeah, guys, you can see behind me the bus is here, and it's kind of a big deal that this is the 7th time ever OU and Alabama have met. But win or lose, this will be the last time the OU seniors take Owen Field, and a win for both those seniors and head coach Brent Venables would be a highlight to this Rocky season.
But I can promise you these players and the coaching staff are incredibly disappointed. But that doesn't mean that our spirit's broken. And that's what I've seen, a strong spirited team that's invested too much. You don't just give in here, in the 11th hour.
Going out with a dub, we want to win this game. I mean, not only for us, but for this program and for Coach V and the coaching staff as well. Just going out with the bang. It's been a long year, and it's been rough. But if we can just go out and win this game, I know it'll be really important to all the guys that you just mentioned, and it's just like I said, just the coaching staff as well.
Yeah, it's sad. It really goes by fast. Every senior is going to say that. It's cliche, but it's so true. It can be a little, it's painful coming back here for the last time. I've had so many, great experiences, the highs, lowest of the lows. But, I think I've no regrets on how my career has gone. Every time I step on my feet, I leave it all out there. And so, you just got to take advantage of the opportunity and just take it all in one more time.
Now, if the Sooners are able to pull off a win today, it'll be the 10th season in a row that they're able to get the dub in their home finale, turning into the senior gift that keeps on giving. Reporting live outside Owen Field, Darby McCormick, Gameday U.
Thanks, Darby. Now don't go anywhere because we're talking who has the best chance at getting the win and being Dixieland delighted at the end of the night.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, if your shower can fill a 1-gallon bucket in less than 20 seconds, replace the shower head with a water-efficient one. They are cheap, easy to install, and can save you up to 750 gallons a month. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I'm an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Jackson Arnold and Jalen Milroe will face off today, but Game still recognizes Game. I was at SEC Media Days where I talked to the two quarterbacks and got to take a trip down memory lane. Now 16 strong with Oklahoma in the SEC, and they're facing a warm welcome to the conference, proving it's not just about competition and rivalries. Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe had nothing but kind words to say about Sooners quarterback Jackson Arnold at SEC Media Days.
He's a great dude. Just to have the chance to be able to talk to him and listen his views, because for me, I just see the views of being an Alabama quarterback, but to hear his views of being an Oklahoma quarterback, it was great. So, I'm super excited for the future success that he will have this year, and especially with him being a Texas kid, so I'm rooting for him definitely.
And Arnold had a few for Milroe.
I did get to meet Jalen. I talked to him for a little bit to air it out night, and I think he's a great dude. I think he's a great player too. And obviously played very highly for them last year. Did a lot of great things for them, and I think he'll continue to do great things for them this year.
It wasn't just a time for new relationships. I had the opportunity to talk to my former high school quarterback.
You were voted most likely to succeed in high school. I have it right here. This is actually me and you in our high school yearbook.
Hey, how you doing? You all
I'm
right?
good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Do you feel like you've lived up to that success?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed and highly favored.
I have God on my side, so who can be against me?
The last time OU and Bama met, the Crimson Tide surged past the Sooners 45-34. Reporting from SEC Media Days, I'm Kaylee Jo Hommel.
The Crimson Tide sits at 8-2 right now after showing Mercer no mercy on Saturday, winning 52-7. And Bama is holding its opponents to almost 17 points a game, but scoring an average of 40.
And for Jackson Arnold, beware in the air. He has to make good decisions in the passing game. Alabama is second in the SEC and 14th nationally in defensive pass efficiency. And 5 different players have multiple interceptions for the Tide.
Yeah, Emily, the Sooners offense needs to beware as the Crimson Tide are 4th in the country when it comes to the turnover margin. Their defense has forced 14 interceptions. They've recovered 10 fumbles, and they've only turned it over 11 times themselves this year. That's a plus 13 margin. OU sits at -1.
And Alabama is 30th in the country in total offense, averaging over 430 yards per game, which is good. But OU is 24th in total defense, allowing 319 yards every game. It'll be a challenge for the Sooners defense if Bama's offense is on the field all night long.
Well, over in the rest of the SEC, the number 3 Longhorns are taking on Kentucky and Austin. And with the hunt for playoffs, the Wildcats, who are 1-6 in SEC play and ranked 108th in scoring, seem like the type of opponent the Horns need before facing the Aggies.
And once again, another late kickoff in the Bayou. 6 of LSU's 7 home games have been in the prime time slot. For the first time this season, the Tigers are unranked, and Vanderbilt needs one more win for bowl eligibility. LSU just hoping to end their 3-game losing streak.
Well, I'm going to take it out to the plains of Auburn 1 week before they face Alabama. The fighting Texas Aggies are in the playoff hunt while the Tigers are in a bowl game hunt. Senior night at Jordan-Hare could bring a curse upon the Aggies a week before A&M faces Texas.
And the Florida Gators are coming off an upset win over LSU. And now the Lane Tray is on its way to Oxford. Ole Miss is coming off a bye week after beating Georgia, and they've won 3 straight games. 11 a.m. in the Swamp. This should be a fun one.
There's a whole lot to watch out for in OU football's last home game of the season. When we come back, we'll talk what you should be watching for.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
That's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
The Sooners are looking to avoid getting Roll Tide rolled today, so when it comes to who or what to watch for, I have some advice for the OU defense. Watch out for Bama quarterback Jalen Milroe. And if the Katy, Texas native isn't passing to 17-year-old Ryan Williams, you can be sure he'll be using his legs, moving them all the way to the end zone. Milroe has 17 total rushing touchdowns, 4 of which came from when the Tide took down the LSU Tigers. He's rushed for a total of 608 yards this season, which means he's averaging 1.7 rushing touchdowns per game. This guy can run, and he's on track to become the 4th SEC quarterback to pass for 20 touchdowns and rush for 22. If he pulls it off, his name could be alongside Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, and Johnny Manziel.
And Milroe will get more opportunities to make some plays if the Sooners keep giving the ball away like candy. From running backs to receivers to quarterbacks to muffed punts on special teams, OU has a problem turning the ball over, doing so in every single game this season except one, and that's Temple. But let's focus on the fumbles. Against Mizzou, OU fumbled 6 times, losing 4, the most since playing Baylor in 2006. These fumbles are setting opposing teams up for great field position, and Alabama will capitalize on that. They've scored 27 points off turnovers in their last 2 conference games.
And the Sooners secondary got torched last time out by, let me check my notes, former Sooner Theo Weiss. He had 4 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's a wide receiver too. Now the OU defense matches up with the 17-year-old athletic freak, Ryan Williams. The kid is insane. He's a 5-star who enrolled a whole year early and is dominating defenses up and down the schedule. He's got 40 catches for 767 yards and 8 TDs this year. That's 19.2 yards per catch and a touchdown every 5 receptions. OU is 55th in passing yards allowed, so watch out for an explosive 17-year-old tonight.
Well, Layden, the OU defense is nothing if not consistent. Check this out. Last week against Mizzou, it's 3rd and 16 late in the 4th quarter. They allow Luther Burton to make this catch for 33 yards to set up a game-tying touchdown. Now, let's flash back to 2022. Kansas State right here in Norman. It's 3rd and 16 late in the 4th quarter, and Adrian Martinez goes 55 yards to the 4-yard line. He scored the game-winning touchdown just 2 plays later. Even going back to Brent Venables' first loss as the head coach, the Sooners keep finding ways to lose heartbreakers. Adrian Martinez ran for 4 touchdowns that night, so we'll see if the Sooners can stop Jalen Milroe with his legs tonight.
Well, when we come back, we'll have some new faces sitting at the desk, and they'll make their picks for some of today's hottest matchups.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping. Got a few minutes? You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Everyone has a ritual. That small thing to keep us focused. A habit we never skip. To clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is,
fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
We switched out the anchors on the set, and we're switching things up by making some picks. I'm now joined by Cam Williams, Peyton Davis, and Elle Gedman, and they're ready to make their picks on today's most hyped up matchups. And we have to start with a game with college football playoff and Big Ten championship implications. So Cam, who's winning, Indiana or Ohio State?
Yeah, Kaylee Jo, I believe the Kirk Cincinnati hype train rides a little bit longer in Columbus. This IU offense is averaging 40 points per game, which is third best in the country. And this Cinderella 10-0 story is far from being over. Give me the Hoosiers.
Oh, Cam, you better keep your eyes on the Buckeyes. Indiana has lost 21 straight games to Ohio State, getting their last win in 1988. Shout out, Mom and Dad. But my parents were in the 7th grade the last time Indiana beat the Buckeyes, and I don't see this year being any different.
Peyton, you may be right. It's been a while since IU's last Buckeye win, but it's been a long time since Indiana has been 10-0, and that time is never. Indiana has proven this year that they are more than a basketball powerhouse. I see Kurt Cignetti leaving the horseshoe saying, "Who's your daddy?"
The Big 12 title race is heating up, and Arizona State looks to keep the momentum going at home after upsetting Kansas State. But Cam, will BYU be able to come out on top?
I don't think so. Kenny Dillingham has Arizona State peaking at the right time, sitting at 8-2, and with the top 5 running back in Cam Scatterbo, who's averaging 7 yards per carry at home, I believe these Sun Devils will get the upset.
Arizona State has defied the preseason odds by beating more AP-ranked opponents than 4 of the top 5 CFP teams. ASU loves running the ball, but BYU isn't great at protecting it. If Coach Dillingham takes advantage of that weakness, the Sun Devils will shine bright.
There's a reason that BYU hasn't left the top 25 all year, and ASU barely snuck in this week. The Cougs are ranked 6th overall in turnovers, gained 3rd in defensive passing efficiency, and 4th in winning percentage. BYU outshines the Sun Devils in this sold-out showdown.
And last but certainly not least, a win today means a bowl game for Oklahoma, but will Jalen Milroe and the Tide be too tough for OU?
Yeah, I think Jalen Milroe and this vaunted Alabama offense averaging 38 points per game will be too much for the injury-riddled Sooners. And look for Milroe to have a hat trick through the air. Give me the Tide.
The Tide is rolling into Norman, and the Sooners are going to get steamrolled. Alabama has outscored their opponents 128-20 since losing to Tennessee. Meanwhile, it only took Oklahoma a trip to Mizzou to allow 30 points. Dixieland Delight is going to be heard loud and clear.
It's the battle of the Crimson, but the blue blood runs deep. Although the Nick Saban era may be over, the Venables era isn't. OU has yet to win a home SEC game, and the first isn't going to be the most dominant team in the 21st century. If I were a betting man, I'm going all in on the Tide.
Thanks for watching Game Day U, where it just means more. For Cam Williams, Peyton Davis, and Elle Gedman, I'm Kaylee Jo Hommel. We'll be back ahead of OU's last game of the regular season against LSU in Death Valley. Until then, have a fun and safe game day.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music